There's an ache that settles deep in a woman's chest, a persistent whisper that something fundamental has shifted. No concrete evidence exists, no smoking gun, yet your inner compass points toward a truth you're afraid to acknowledge. The surface appears calm, but beneath lies a growing chasm where connection once thrived. Betrayal doesn't announce itself with dramatic revelations. It begins in the quiet moments when his eyes no longer search for yours across a crowded room. When good morning transforms from a tender greeting into mechanical routine. When shared laughter becomes as rare as finding water in a desert. These micro-departures accumulate like grains of sand, eventually forming an emotional desert between you. Carl Jung understood that people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. This avoidance often manifests as seeking external validation to fill internal voids, a pattern that devastates relationships from within. Watch for the gradual erosion of curiosity about your world. He stops asking about your dreams, fears, and daily experiences. Conversations become transactional, discussing logistics rather than sharing souls. You notice responses growing shorter, more distant, as if he's conserving emotional energy for someone or something else. Physical presence without emotional availability creates a unique kind of loneliness, being alone while technically together. It's like living with a beautifully crafted mannequin that bears his face but lacks his essence. Technology becomes his sanctuary of secrets. Previously, open devices now require passwords, face-down positioning, and bathroom escorts. Innocent questions about messages trigger disproportionate defensive reactions. Why are you so paranoid? Or don't you trust me? This digital guardedness signals the construction of parallel emotional lives. When transparency dissolves, trust follows close behind. Physical connection either vanishes or becomes strangely intense. Some men overcompensate with theatrical passion, attempting to mask emotional betrayal with physical intensity. Others simply disconnect entirely. Touching becomes mechanical, devoid of the tenderness that once defined your bond. True intimacy encompasses both emotional and physical connection. When one fractures, the other inevitably suffers. Suddenly everything becomes a battle. Minor oversights trigger major arguments. He seems to actively seek reasons for conflict, creating distance through manufactured drama. This pattern serves a psychological purpose. If you're the difficult one, his emotional departure feels justified. Projection becomes his primary tool. Accusations flow toward you while he avoids confronting his own choices. You become responsible for relationship problems you didn't create. Dreams and plans that once included we now feature only I. He discusses travels, goals, and aspirations as solitary endeavours. Your presence gradually fades from his long-term vision, like being slowly erased from a photograph. This exclusion from future planning often occurs before he's consciously decided to leave. His subconscious has already begun the separation process. Perhaps most damaging is the systematic erosion of your reality perception. Your intuition, once trusted and valued, becomes labelled as paranoia. Feelings are dismissed as overreactions. Concerns are reframed as character flaws. This manipulation technique, known as gaslighting, serves to maintain control while avoiding accountability. Your emotional radar, finely tuned through years of loving connection, suddenly becomes the problem. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Have you experienced these warning signs? Drop a comment below sharing your story or thoughts. Your experience matters and could help other women recognize similar patterns. Recognition marks the beginning of empowerment. Understanding these patterns doesn't make the pain disappear, but it does provide clarity. You're not imagining changes, you're observing them with remarkable accuracy. Jung emphasized that What you resist persists. Resisting the truth your soul already knows only prolongs suffering. Acceptance doesn't mean tolerating unacceptable behavior. It means acknowledging reality so you can respond from strength rather than hope. Then your intuition deserves restoration to its rightful place as your primary navigation system. Those gut feelings weren't paranoia, they were wisdom. That persistent unease wasn't mental instability, it was emotional intelligence recognizing incongruence. Trust the woman who feels something shift before her mind can articulate it. Trust the wisdom that doesn't require evidence to know when love has departed. Trust yourself completely. Waking up hurts. Recognizing that you have been fighting alone for something he abandoned long ago brings profound grief. But this pain is sacred. It marks the end of self-abandonment and the beginning of self-recovery. You didn't fail by loving deeply. You didn't fail by trusting completely. You didn't fail by hoping against evidence. You succeeded in being authentically, courageously human. The most radical act isn't trying to save a relationship where you're the only participant. The most radical act is choosing yourself, your peace, your dignity, your truth, over familiarity and false comfort. Letting go isn't hatred or punishment, it's liberation. It's saying, I understand now, and I choose something better for myself. Women who survive emotional betrayal often emerge stronger, wiser, and more discerning. They develop unshakable standards for how they deserve to be treated. They refuse to accept partial love, emotional crumbs, or relationship scraps. This transformation isn't about hardening your heart, it's about protecting it intelligently. It's about loving yourself with the same fierce dedication you once offered someone unworthy of it. If love finds you again, and it likely will, you'll approach it differently. From a place of wholeness rather than need, from strength rather than desperation, from clear boundaries rather than endless accommodation. You'll recognize genuine presence versus performed presence. You'll distinguish between temporary passion and sustainable love. You'll never again mistake intensity for intimacy or chaos for chemistry. Remember this fundamental truth: a conscious woman doesn't need courtroom evidence when her soul has already rendered its verdict. Trust that inner knowing. Honor that sacred intuition. Believe that voice that speaks truth, even when the world tries to silence it. You are not asking for too much when you expect honesty, presence, and genuine care. You are not being dramatic when you refuse to accept emotional scraps. You are not being paranoid when you trust what you feel over what you're told. Your story doesn't end with betrayal. It begins with awakening. And an awakened woman is an unstoppable force for positive change, both in her own life and in the lives of others walking similar paths. The woman you're becoming, stronger, wiser, more discerning, she's been waiting for this moment. She's been waiting for you to choose her, to trust her, to become her fully. Today is that day. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe for more content about emotional awareness, healing, and empowerment. Share this video with any woman who might need these insights. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear these truths.